Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to have a quick deep dive into overtraining, how we can spot the signs and how we can get through it and get back to training at absolute full strength. So sit back, relax, we're looking forward to this one. Let's get this done. It's great to have you back on the channel joining us for another video to help you become a better runner. We're going to split today's video up into 4 different sections. We're going to be starting to have a quick look about what exactly is overtraining. Then we're going to look at some of the symptoms of what people might be experiencing, some solutions of what we're going to do to get through this, and then finally a little summary at the end. So starting out, what exactly is overtraining? Well, essentially it's doing too much. That might be too much running, too much cross training, too much strength training. And this can actually lead to a reduction in our overall fitness. We're far more likely to pick up injuries, have increased sort of stress levels, and also a lack of motivation to go out there and get training as well. So one of the best ways that you can monitor this overtraining and potential fatigue on your body is to have a look at the resting heart rate data that it will be coming from your watch. Now, if you don't have a watch, you can simply monitor your resting heart rate. And the best way to do this is when you get out of bed in the morning, count the number of beats that your heart is beating over the course of a minute and just keep a record of this over a week or a couple of weeks. Now, your watch will do this automatically. It can keep a log of it. And then you can see a trend over time. Now, once we've got a little bit of this data, if suddenly there's a little bit of a spike in this, and I'd say around about 10 beats a minute higher than what you'd be expecting, then that can be a cause that our body's going through some stress and it's not recovering properly. Some other factors that are important to look out for is that constant muscle soreness, that our body is just not recovering after our training sessions properly. You may well have a higher perceived effort for some of the runs that you're doing. Things are just feeling a little bit more labored and taxed than they should be. And if you are monitoring your heart rate, that might be just a little bit slightly higher than you'd be expecting compared to similar runs in the past. A real classic sign of overtraining is picking up injuries and just little things that aren't quite right. This is mainly due to our muscles not recovering between sessions. We're losing that strength and then we pick up an injury that might keep us out for a week or a couple of weeks. And finally, there just might be a real lack of motivation to get out the door and get your training done. You're feeling like everything's a little bit too much, it's a little bit too labored, and that enthusiasm for running is slowly starting to wane, which is not what we want. We want to be out there running and enjoying our runs. So let's look at some solid solutions for how we're going to get this right. The first one being is getting a proper dedicated training plan to really take the stress out of managing your running, and it will really balance that recovery, the intensity and our easy days in such a way that it allows us to build that mileage and get up to our race day or just progress through our training in the safest way possible. The second one being is to take some rest. Now, everybody can take at least 7 to 10 days off before we are going to start losing any fitness. So don't panic. Don't worry if you're feeling like this. Take some rest time, catch up on that sleep, and then jump back into your training when you're feeling ready to go again. Really important to look at lowering our intensity. So many beginner runners especially go out chasing around, running at that max effort all the time. People doing their rep sessions and things, or hill reps, going absolutely giving 100% effort on all these things. You really don't have to. I never go past around 80-85% effort on all of my reps. You want to running these at a nice controlled pace. Now, nutrition is such a big topic, but really focusing on the basics of getting a good mix of healthy fats, carbohydrates, protein, whole grains, lots of fruit and veggies in there. Of course, it's good to have a few treats and sweet things in there, but make sure that's in balance with everything else. Now, if you want to take a little bit more of a scientific approach, you could get some blood tests done. There's companies like Medichecks and Thriva that you can do these. You have to pay for it, but you can get a test back in just a few days, and they may be able to spot some signs. Maybe your iron levels are a little bit low. There's lots of different reasons, but a doctor can look over these and get back to you. Now, if you can't afford something like that, then of course go to your regular GP and they can refer you for some blood tests as well. Now, if you are a runner in the early stages of your running journey, maybe training for your first marathon, it's really good to talk to people around you. You'll have had this big change in your life. Running has come into your life and other things that may be suffering. So I'd really say talk. If you're finding things stressful, talk to people around you, ask them for advice, and just sometimes a problem shared is a problem solved, and you might get some ideas coming back. Now, of course, recovery forms a really big part of this. We've got a dedicated recovery video, which we'll link to down below, but the all-important sleep, making sure we're doing some stretching, some massaging, and getting those healthy foods into our body, protein shakes and things like that after our runs. Really, really important. And finally, in our solution sections, mindfulness for running. Now for me, I really like to use my Calm app. This is not a paid promotion or anything like that, just pay the regular subscription. But it really helps me every single day, just put those 10 to 15 minutes aside where I can just take that time to relax and reduce my stress levels. Also like to do things like my yoga, and also just sometimes just going for a walk, putting technology down, social media away for a bit, and just taking time away from that, away from Strava, Instagram, TikToks and all that sort of thing, and just being a little bit more present and helping to reduce those stress levels. And that relates to my question of the day. What is your favorite thing to do to reduce your stress levels and get things nice and chilled? What do you like to do when you really like to relax as much as possible? Help people out and let us know down in the comments. So there we have it, guys. Hopefully a few little tips and tricks there for you to get back on track if you feel you are suffering with some overtraining. With a lot of things, it's just best to nip them in the bud before it becomes a serious thing. But don't worry about it. There's lots we can do and to get you back on track to where you want to be training. We're always here to help you with any help and advice you want with your running. So as always, let us know down in the comments what type of things you want to hear coming up. So that's it, guys. Please check out the website benparks.com for all the latest training plans to help you with your running, the latest merch, the best running hats in the world. And as always, we will see you on the start line, getting ready for a race very, very soon. So all the best, guys. Keep on getting it done, and we'll see you in the next one.